Pull out your hose and grab your can. We're about to integrate another Pest Geek podcast. Hi, everybody. Frank Hernandez here, and welcome to the Pest Geek podcast, bringing you the latest information on pests, products, and politics from today's leading industry sources to help you start, manage, and grow your pest control business. I got Greg Woodfield, founder and COO of Via Software. Hey, Greg, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Pretty cool. It's just, I've heard about you and got a call regarding the software, and I saw what you guys were doing. I thought, oh, this is pretty neat. A lot of my guys could probably use this. So I said, yeah, cool. Come on the show and talk about what it is you do, because I am struggling with that same issue in our business, because we're growing. We're a 3-person company, and we're being challenged with a lot of things that, we're trying to manage on multiple devices, manage customer communications, and we got challenged and we're being challenged. So tell us a little bit about you, your background, what it is that you do, and then tell us what your company's about and exactly what that product is about, because I'm still not completely understanding it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate you first for giving me some time, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm the co-founder and COO of Via Software. We've been in business for about a year and a couple of months now. We have our headquarters out in the Bay Area, just in Cupertino. And then I'm running our operational office out of Utah. So we kind of have 2 offices. So we're a tech company. Me and my co-founder, we co-founded the startup. So we weren't technical founders. I was doing like a hedge fund, insurance sales, working for a guy, and then I moved out of that and went to a boot camp. And then my partner was a business partner. He was over on Wall Street working as a tech investment banker, and then he, kind of gave that up as well. And then he went to a boot camp, and then we kind of collided, and we found this problem in the market, and the market specifically in pest control is that, it's so hard to create real relationships and raw relationships with your customers. And so people, are trying to do it through email. Well, email percentages on open rates through emails are 30%, right? And maybe a 7% conversion ratio. And we found that, it even got even worse when people are trying to post on their Facebook page, right? Or their Instagram account, when in reality, you're competing with every other person, in your markets, specifically in the pest control industry. And so, when we started looking into this problem, we wanted to find an easy way that you could communicate with your customers and kind of get on a real relationship. And so with incumbents like email and like Facebook and mailers and all these other ways, we thought, hey, well, why don't we just generate a multi-messaging platform that can kind of house your entire communication all in one with your customers. And so that's when we started the software building process. We built it in about a couple months, and then we launched, and then we started landing customers like Hawks Pest Control. They have 15 locations. We started landing Mosquito Authority. They have well over 171 locations across the states. They're franchise operated, and they wanted to be able to generate more leads. And so we started generating these messages to their customers via SMS, and that was kind of the first stage of our customer communication, is how often do businesses text you? And so in a roundabout way, we just found that communication was old school in the pest control industry. And when we started communicating with customers via SMS or Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, Google My Message, Instagram, and these other, ways that people want to be communicated to on their devices, and then they have high open rates, like 98%, we started finding out that you could communicate to your customer base, own your customer base in your local market, make more money, and then generate more leads in that market. And so in reality, our our software, you could kind of label it as a customer engagement software that can help you target your customers, keep them loyal, improve your take rate, improve your reviews online, kind of do a couple of other things, but I won't go too below the line, just because I know there's going to be other questions later on the podcast. So.
Yes. So yeah, because now you just blew me away. What you're saying is it goes beyond just texting somebody. Like it isn't like a Zendesk type of product where you're using it for ticket and resolution. This is more of a software that allows you to engage wherever your customer is. Unlike and here's I use, to give you an example. We've got our own software that we use for managing the route, and it has SMS and email. But I'm also using Hootsuite for managing my online media. And so explain to me the difference between, because I think I got it, but explain to me the difference of how that is different, because I'm using now two softwares and I'm being able to manage my engagement, but it's broad. It doesn't let me target my customer.
Yeah. So think of it this way, is like, let's say that, I'm a customer who lives in Ogden, Utah. Well, Ogden, Utah, 8441 or 84401, right? That's the zip code. And let's say that I have, mosquito services, but I don't have your general pest services. Let's say that I have a late payment. Let's say that I'm trying to think of another thing. Let's say that I may be interested in your termite boxes. Our software can kind of dial down the type of message that you want to send to a customer, right? Because on Hootsuite, you're managing the posts, right, and engagement that way. Right. But you're still competing with other pest control companies in your industry.
Okay.
Whereas if you have, customer's first name, last name, phone number, and then we just pull the data from your CRM, whether it's PestPack, Pest Routes, Pokemos, whatever it may be, and pulling that data into our software, I could dial down and text you specifically the guy that has, 84401 area code with, mosquito spray, but he may be interested in termites, and he has a late payment. So in an SMS, I could send him, hey, Greg, this is, so-and-so from company. We'd really love for you to make your payment here by clicking on this link. And also we have offers like termites and general pest if you're interested by clicking on the link. And then when they click on the link, it pulls up a custom landing page and allows them to choose what they want to do. And then we can kind of redirect that back to which department that you're interested in. So if that's sales or if that's just, you as a business owner or customer success. And so kind of have the ability to get on a granular level through SMS specifically,
Gotcha.
Using the data that comes from your CRM.
Okay. So, but I'm going to get a pest control guy. I'm going to, I've got pest routes, and we have that capability of doing that. How does this differentiate? Hey, we already have a portal, let's just say. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have the SMS and the email. So that automatically is automated for us. But the way, your bill is late, can you go ahead and they open up their portal and they get, they're able to manage their entire account through there. And then we can still email and SMS them all that through our platform. How does your software then differentiate from that? What is that? What is that your USP there that's going to differentiate for me to say, well, I already have that. Why would I sign up for your software?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point, because there are a lot of texting softwares. Like, you could think, hey, we're texting software. But the thing is like when you plug our software in, we can kind of automate the messages, right? Like happy birthday messages. Like we can automatically automate the customer engagement messages for you. Whereas like doing payment, right,
Gotcha.
and a reminder,
right?
Doing a payment and a reminder is the extent of most. Whereas like let's say that you have customers in a certain area code, you cannot do that through your current software. Like you can't dial down like as hard as you would want to as like a business owner, to where it's like maybe I want to text these people because there's a mosquito outbreak in this specific area, right? And so I'm going to be sending my text there. Maybe I want to text these customers I already have in that area and let them be the people that, refer, give leads, right, in that area. And then you have a nice little neat way to collect that it makes it a lot better for you as a business owner because, yes, you can use like other SMS platforms, but usually they're a reminder software or a payment software, whereas ours, I can do reminders, I can do payments, I can do links to your website, I can do Google reviews, I can do pest reviews, I can answer your reviews, I can do campaigns of messages, right? I can do a lot of different things in the software.
Right.
And then we also have capabilities for a VoIP system in our software that's kind of unique to where we can take over your existing number. And let's say that it's after hours. Our software can actually send your customers a text after hours saying, hey, we're no longer in the office. If you'd like to book an appointment, click here. Let's say that two lines are tied up at the same time. Our software can send a text to the person who came in second place on that busy line and send them a text and say, hey, we'll be with you in just a minute, but if you want to ask a question, go ahead and ask here, and we'll have somebody reach out to you, right? On your website, let's say there's a lead on your website or somebody engaging with your website, we have a little chat bot that they can engage with that goes back to that communication platform. So we take all of the ways that a customer would want to communicate with you
Gotcha.
and tie it into an SMS platform and then give you the ability to really get down and target your specific customer base with any message that you can imagine.
I gotcha. Okay. I see. So yeah, so it's more of an engagement tool, not just a notification tool for whatever.
Exactly.
So it's designed to create. Basically, you're creating a social media platform with your clients through SMS. That's the major. The major thing that you work on. So you're looking at SMS, you're looking at a chat bot. Talk to me about, because you mentioned social media. So does it work with like Facebook, messaging, and whatever, Twitter? What else does this work with as far as for engagement?
So we're currently working with Facebook. We already have that integrated. We do have like an e-commerce side. So if you're like a pest control company that's selling products online, we can facilitate, like, if somebody comes to your site, they leave something in the cart, we can send them a text 5 minutes after with the thing that was in their cart to buy in a message, right? And we can track the revenue. We can track campaigns of revenue, right, on a website. But kind of going into the communication platform, we can track all your Google My Messages. What that means is basically like Google has given mobile users the ability to message businesses, right? And so we can port that number directly into our software. So if anybody were to message you from Google saying, hey, are you guys still open? Hey, do you guys service this? Hey, is your pest control organic, or family friendly or pet friendly, right? You can answer those directly from our platform, as well as if your customers are texting, as well as if people are Facebook messaging you, as well as if people are Shopify messaging you, as well as if, right? And so we're kind of tying the omni-channel of communication. That way, as a business owner, you're not going into 15 different apps trying to communicate through messaging to your customers. We're kind of pulling all those messages into one place and then kind of being able to, structure campaigns and other messages around it. That way, we make sure that, your customers are getting the most engagement from you.
Right.
Because when you own the messaging list and you own that messaging conversation, a customer gets a happy birthday message from their pest control company. How often does that happen?
Right.
Probably not at all, right? And so the whole premise behind our software is when you engage with the customer, and let's say that you're just doing services and you never see them for your 8-month season or your year-round season, the downside is that, that customer can easily be switched over after your 12-month agreement that you put them in, right? And so the biggest thing that you want to do is do engagement outside of just your technician that's awesome and goes and services the home. Or let's say you have a really crappy technician, your customer is going to want to engage with you very, very quickly, right? And 98% of customers are going to prefer to do that through an SMS because they know they can get a quick response.
Right.
Whereas if they jump on a call with you, they know they're probably going to hit a voicemail. Or if they send you an email, how long does that take to get back? And then when you send it back, how long does it take to respond, right? So with people who are running SMS campaigns for engagement, they usually are improving ROI by about 9x just based off of engagement alone.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, because even with us, we're not, even in home services, because I've been in many home services. The pool guy is once a week. So you're getting communication with him once a week on stuff. The lawn care guy could be every 2 weeks to once a month. Most of the companies doing pest control are out there only every quarter. Or you're doing a once a year termite treatment. In between that, you're right. There's always been the challenge for me of how do I engage with my client in a meaningful way that doesn't require me to, send out cards and postcards and write a mass email, which my open rate right now on my mass emails is anywhere between 18 to 26%.
Yeah.
So I'm losing 75% of my audience I know that never open up an email from me. They say, okay. That's even in billing. We still get maybe a 50% open rate on our bills. We still have to mail it. We're only getting about a 50% participation. So, yeah, I get this, that, that's, now somebody's going to say, well, I'm just a one-man operator. It's just me. How do I'm on the field, and how do I have time to manage this? Is it for the one-man operator? Is it for a guy like me? Because I'm 80% of my time behind my desk in an office, where I'm managing all this.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, honestly, because we work with people who are, owner operators, and then we also work with people, who have 171 locations, right? So
right.
When you're working on a broad scale, you could say this is that a owner operator, right? They're building their business, and that's very important for them to build their business. And a lot of business owners who are in the early stage, especially pest control, are focused on just taking care of customers, right? But they're not focused on building their online reputation. And
right.
So our software does have the capability to build out that online reputation. So I'm going to kind of speak to that piece of the software for the owner operator, and then I'll kind of speak to the broader audience. But I would say the owner operator would want to focus specifically on his reputation, specifically on Google. The reason why is because Google owns 74% of the search in the world. So if somebody's searching for something, it's going to be on Google. And if I'm searching for a pest control near me, or a pest control nearby, or mosquito nearby, or something nearby that has to do with pest, a search word, what happens is Google generates this thing called the map pack. And it's the first three businesses with directions, websites, and a phone number, right? And when you look in that map pack, you can see their overall rating and their overall reviews, right? And what we do with our software when we tie into your CRM, or you can do this manually with your technicians, is after a tech has disposition to spray is completed, we can send out a text that says, hey, how was your service today? And then they say, oh, it was great. And then you basically have this little link that says, hey, we'd love a 5-star review. Click on this link. And then it's a 2-click process for them to leave you a 5-star review. And then on the back end of our software, we can actually send out a review response directly to that review that owner had left you. And I would say that in the beginning stages of any pest control business is essential, because when you're competing with companies like Orkin and Terminex who have 6, 7, 10,000 reviews, right, in that local area, you're going to never be the person that is ever visible, and you're never going to be the person that's chosen, and all your business is word of mouth, which is a great way to build your business, and I will never knock that, but I will say, why not have a digital word of mouth as well? Why not reflect your happy customers online, right? And so what we're doing for those guys is helping them with their online reputation, building it out through an SMS, 2-click Google review process. Now, when you get to like your stage where you're kind of behind your desk and you're managing, you want to be able to improve your take rate every year on your pest control, right? So you have a 9-month, a 12-month, sell cycle, right? And each year you have X amount of attrition that goes to somebody else, or they just stop using you. And so what keeps you and what keeps your customers coming back year after year after year, it's going to be how often you communicate with them and how easy it is to communicate with you as a business owner. And then when you get up into 30, 40, 50, 100 locations, they're looking at their national brand. They're looking at how do I generate thousands of leads from current customers through these SMS, campaigns. how do I generate more leads off my websites that I can give to my sales guys? How can I tie in an easier way to do a VoIP system that has, SMS tied to a VoIP and save money and package like kind of all these other softwares I'm paying for, like a Zendesk, like a Podium, like a Womply, like a Avocado, all into one software.
Gotcha.
Where make it really easy for a business owner to save money but have one software instead of 15. And when you don't streamline those softwares, it can become really taxing to try to keep up with it,
Yeah, because that's been my challenge now is I'm looking at different platforms, but right now we're on, 3 to 4, maybe 5 different platforms where we're managing that customer relation, that and then also our online reputation and our online, management. And yeah, I mean, we're up to like, I probably have over 20 pieces of software that we're using. And maybe 5 or 6 of those are just for this purpose. And it's all over the place. And I'm already getting like, how am I, I get a ding here, a ping there, and I'm responding on, and then I forget like, oh man, this guy just texted me 45 minutes ago, but I was on this call and I was on this email and I'm checking this deal and I have no way of going back and remembering. Now I'm going back through my email to my other phone, my text, and figuring out where the heck he was because I just remembered it. That's my challenge as I'm growing. So that's the reality of where I'm at is like we have to be, and if you're in a major market, and a lot of my guys that are listening to me are not in a major market, they're in a really small market, but I'm in a top 10 market. It's very hectic. And nobody has time. People are texting me at 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday. So I can respond on Monday morning. I mean, I know they don't, but they're whenever they remember, I'm getting the calls. Me on Monday morning, it's like a train wreck because I'm dealing with all these issues from Saturday and Sunday evening that were closed, and so for the small guy, how did and again we've covered a lot of this. Speak to that as far as the busyness, because you mentioned something that I deal with and I've dealt with very, very, very extensively, and it is that you're building your market through the referral business. But my experience being in Miami, and we're the 6th largest market in the country, we don't get referrals anymore. We get everything is based. I went 100% online because we saw the referrals. People aren't talking to each other in their community. Yeah. Neighbors do not talk to each other here. I mean, I deal with that constantly. And we went with 100% online mentality for that reason, because all of our referrals, as much as we tried with a 26 open rate, where we're seeing them quarterly, that started to dry up. And as a grow, it's different when you're a small guy and you're saying, I'm going to be a solopreneur and I'm never going to hire, and I have a personal relationship with my clients and that's it. But when I'm a growing business that I have a 26% a year growth rate, you start to see the loss of that being able to be intimate after you've passed 300, 400 clients. You can't remember everybody and you forget everything. I mean, that's my challenge.
Yeah. I think that's a great challenge. Like, I think it's a good challenge to have, like, is, you're exhausting your resources, right? Like you're trying to get online, you're trying to do email, like drip campaigns, but you have a customer base, right? Like, you have a CRM with all these customers. You have first names, last names, and phone numbers, correct?
Yep.
Well, if I know that, and I'm willing to be a betting man, obviously, on my software, just because we work with enough pest control companies, I know it works.
Right.
Send out a message to your client base, and you say, hey, make it personal, right? The thing is like, if you think about this for a second, is what's the highest used app in the world? What would you guess?
The highest used app in the world?
Yeah, what app does everybody use?
Other than the native app on their phone, I would say probably Facebook. Okay,
so Facebook. Right now, you went your first inclination was the native app on your phone. Now, speak to that a little. What would you say is the most used app that's native? That's already downloaded.
Yeah, it would be your text app.
Yeah, Exactly. So the market, right, this $22 billion market in SMS for any small business owner, when you look at it, you don't have to have downloads. So business owners are trying to create their own personal apps and all that stuff and get really expensive, right, is you have to get all of your people downloading the app. It's going to be a huge waste of time unless you're trying to be an app company, right?
Right.
Now, the thing is like when you're on Facebook, I'm competing with you. So let's say that I'm in Miami too, and I'm a solopreneur. I am a pest control provider. I'm now competing against you for the same customers, you know, in the market. And guess what? If you have 1,500 followers on Facebook or you've liked X amount of pages, about 60% of the time, I'm probably not even going to see what you post as a business owner. People just do it because they know they need it, but it's hard to quantify it into a dollar sign.
Correct.
But when I'm targeting you through the most used app in the world with the most push notifications, right, the most text icons, and the highest open rates, I would be willing to put my money there over any other platform. So, for example, if I have a text list of 1,000 people or 100 people or 300 people or 10,000 people, and I send a very genuine message, right, it's very different than sending an email. People disregard emails all the time, but everybody's OCD. Once they get the icon on their phone that it's a text, they're probably going to respond to that, right? Just like if you were to look at your phone currently, how many emails do you have? 1,300 sitting there, right? Whereas like
yeah,
text, I maybe have 10. And so the thing is people are way more likely to respond to a text than they ever will an email, ever will a Facebook post. And that's why we've seen so much success through the targeted campaigns through SMS, is because we can drive open rates upwards of 75%, right? And text messages open within the first 5 minutes, 92% of the time.
Gotcha.
And so when you look at that type of, I would say that type of open rate, and it's your audience and you've built a good relationship with them, now that it's not through Facebook and they don't see your posts when you think you're building an audience or building an engagement, you build it through your SMS, you make it genuine, you give them an easy link to click, refer somebody, give them their, you know, second free spray, and then their customer that they refer to free spray. You know, you may lose a little bit of money, but you're acquiring customers and having your customers refer other customers to you. So you're kind of creating an easy way in which they can refer people, whereas email, Facebook, they're all just kind of incumbent ways to acquire customers and acquire new customers and communicate with customers, just because the open rates are so low. And that's why people pay for, you know, these big campaigns and Facebook ads and all that stuff. When if it were just me, I would be making sure that all my technicians, as they're going and servicing the account, are collecting the first name, last name, phone number of every client, and then putting them on happy birthday, you know, campaigns. And obviously you want to do it genuinely. You don't want to do it every day and bug your customers. But we found that a text a month, right, saying, hey, is there anything we can do for you? You know, we really appreciate you. A happy birthday message. Hey, we're going to be in your area servicing. Are there any people in your area that would like it serviced too? Because you could probably guarantee yourself some business, because if I'm outside smoking some meat on my Traeger, I'm getting bit by mosquitoes or some bugs or whatever it may be, I guarantee you my neighbor is too. And if I use your service and you send me a text message and me and him are eating the same meat, right? I smoke some Traeger meat for him to come over. What's going to happen is I'm more than likely going to tell him about your business and just say, hey, I can refer you here. You get a free spray. I get a free spray, and call it a day, you know, make it super simple.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah. It requires, even, I mean, I realize, like here in Florida, we know that's a perfect example of, you know, when would I hit that message? Hey, I know that people are starting to grill out an hour before when they want to, and, you know, hey, you're trying to grill out right now and mosquitoes are biting you, and being able to release that message in timing, or knowing when, or creating a campaign for your monthly, you know, being able to say, okay, I know rodent season is coming up, I know termite season is coming up, and being able to automate that campaign of text messages that are automatically going out, in addition to the personalized ones that you can program and say, hey, when it's their birthday, you know, send them a message, send them a gift, you know.
Yeah.
Speak to that aspect of understanding, you know, that data and timing it, and with the market, because a lot of time we'll send the message, but at the wrong time. We're not targeting, the timing is off. Even though the message is good, our timing is off.
Yeah. And that's kind of where like our customer success team comes into play. So I have to give a shout out to them because, like a lot of, solopreneurs, they don't know really what direction to take their company. They have done this service, right? It's kind of like me, like I wasn't always in tech and you get battle scars as a business owner, right? You've always been there where, I made this mistake or I've done this, but ultimately solopreneurs, it's like when they start getting money, it's like, what do I spend it on? Right? Where do I put it? Where do I get more customers? And the cost of acquisition of customers is just so high on Facebook and Instagram and all these other ad channels to where I think that mailers do pretty well for pest control owners. I think that signs do pretty well for pest control owners. But I've just kind of found that, when you build your customer base and you have a loyal following, you're not worrying about losing them every year. You're not worrying about, those people going anywhere else because they obviously know that you're going to take care of them, but you've created an easy communication way to do so versus the channels that other people are using. And so that's why when we say we're a customer engagement platform on the devices and networks that you use most often is we can kind of take all of your communication channels and put them into one place to make sure that you're reaching out to your customer, because how often do you get text by a business? Every week, right? Or once a month. Like, when's the last time Delta sent you a message saying thank you for being a customer?
Right.
When's the last time any of these big businesses have? It's unheard of, right? It's a new market, and it's a market that works really, really well because when people feel that genuine side of your business, which, there are business owners that don't have that, and then there are business owners that have that genuine side of, hey, I really want to take care of you, and if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. You can also refer. We also have new products. If you're interested in them, just click this link, and then we can set up a time with you, right? Or, hey, click this link, and they'll redirect it directly to your appointment book. Or, whatever it may be, we can kind of make it really, really easy for those business owners to grow. But I always just tell small business owners, it's like, don't throw your money on a lot of marketing campaigns or marketing companies, especially if you don't know how to do marketing or haven't had any experience. I would focus on your customer base and then making sure that they're loyal, and then just slowly build your customer base based off the people that you have, build out your reputation. So that way people can see you online. You can be the number one rated, pest control business in that market, and people will start to call you. And then, you can start to acquire people instead of trying to send them an email, right? Saying, here's your quote, why not send them a text and say, hey, like, I'm going to have technicians there tomorrow. Would you like us to come straight? You're probably going to have a higher conversion ratio off that than anything else.
Yeah. I think the way people are referring business or doing is, it's too, like I said, if they're busy, like my clients will leave, at 6 a.m. and don't get home until 6 p.m, and then they're, dealing with the kids and the homework, and they're rarely talking to anybody other than their circle of influence, which is usually online. And usually will, if you say, hey, your neighbor mentioned something, but, right off then you were busy. You didn't realize, hey, I just top of mind awareness of you as a company wasn't there. And that's the whole issue of branding. People think it's about their logo. It's about that top of mind awareness. How do you create top of mind awareness with your clients when you're only seeing them every 3 months? And I think that's where the touch points of in marketing, where you're making those touch points along the way, or even as part of a long-term strategic sales plan, where you're communicating because you want to sell them that termite service, but you haven't been able to. Because
exactly.
It just, it's never the right time. They got another contract. How do you keep up with all this information in your head as a solopreneur when you're wearing 5 hats? Because that's my challenge.
Yeah.
Right now, I can breathe. I can, I've got 2 technicians. I can focus on sales and marketing, where before I had to focus on how do I pay the bills and pay the rent.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my challenge. We're challenged to grow because we're just torn in so many directions, and we can't put our focus anywhere.
Yeah, and I like that, because that's the challenge of becoming a solopreneur or entrepreneur, right? Is that you are going to have to deal with that, right? And I think that it's interesting because I think that the world sometimes will paint this beautiful picture on entrepreneurship is, you'll have this free time, you'll have all this luxury. Well, that I would say probably comes later in your business, right? Where you can take time off because you don't have to report to anybody other than just your employees, and you can manage that from
Right.
a phone call. You can manage that from an email, a text, right? Something that is so easy for you to do. But I would just say, like, to like the solopreneur warriors out there, is just keep charging and keep doing it, because in reality you are going to be stretched. But like our services is like, I would say when you are at a point, right, where you can kind of invest a little bit of money, you can pay companies like ours, and our software starts at anywhere from $99 a month, as far as all the way up to $6.99 a month, depending on, where you fall in the spectrum of need and
Nice.
like how many messages you're using and stuff. So we kind of have flexible pricing for everybody, but when you have the money and we can kind of help you create the campaigns in the initial stage, is we can kind of automate a lot of the campaigns for you, so that way you can focus on the day-to-day operations, right? And that's where, like, you're kind of talking about the proactive versus the reactive lifestyle of an entrepreneur. And when you're in the business like you, where you have 2 technicians, you're running it, you have customers, you're taking calls, you're getting product, you're getting sprays, you're getting chemicals, you're fixing machines, you're fixing trucks, you're
Yeah.
hiring and firing new reps, right? You're doing
Yeah.
all of that stuff. It's very hard for you to focus on how do I engage with my customers, and how do I make it easy for them to talk to me, right? And that can be challenging. And so with our software, what we've learned is that we kind of fit the spectrum for a small business owner all the way up to a large, corporately owned enterprise. And so with anybody who's out there kind of
Right.
thinking about it, and investing money into something, I'd say I'd place your money into VIA. And, obviously this is self-serving, in a lot of ways, but, I know that the ROI is there, and
Absolutely.
it's been awesome for our customers.
So you've removed the barrier to entry to acquire, because a lot of companies I've talked to, we're at $300 to that $600 a month. They can't take me on as a client. They got an enterprise software package. And I'm not there. I'm not there as an enterprise software for anything. So to be able to scale, and as your needs grow, then that can scale with you. I think that's what most of us need when we're starting out. It's small. And a lot of the other stuff that's out there is just, I've seen it. I mean, I look at a lot of software on an annual basis, where but it just replaces this, really doesn't really do a whole lot more, and I'm already getting that for free. I can't justify $100 a month for something that I'm already doing for free. That's the where we're at as a small owner. But I think, man, it's a great deal. That I get it. I didn't really understand starting out what it is you guys really did, because I look at your website and I understand some terminology, but the fact that you can explain it like that and understand, what it is that I'm getting and why would I need it? I think that's vital. So I do appreciate that. So it's been really good.
Yeah. No, we really try to make it flexible, right? Easy for any owner to kind of enter into it. And like the thing is, it is new, right? Like we are creating a market by ourselves, and that's what like a market leader does.
Right.
Is there are people out there that do review generation. There are people out there that do SMS.
Right.
There are people out there that do loyalty programs. There are people out there that do all this, but they have a very archaic way of doing it. And I don't believe that they can tie it into a all-in-one encompassing platform. That's where we can do it, and we can make it user-friendly, right? To where I could have you an account within 10 minutes, your payment, your agreement, all done, right? And then your campaign set up in the next 10 minutes, and then you using the software, and then us trying to charge the results for you, right? So like the goal in all of this, and I guess for me just kind of jumping on the podcast, is I'm all about helping small business owners, the large business owners, right? We're kind of fitting the full spectrum of communication, but specifically speaking to your crowd, anybody that decides to like start we'll automatically offer them like a entry level package, but basically it's $99 a month, and then it's a 12-month agreement. But we'll basically give you our SEO package on top of it. We'll give you our other pieces of our software instead of tier it, meaning we would normally remove out stuff. So I'd basically give you a $600 package for $99 for anybody that would join through this podcast, you just have to let me know that I heard you on the podcast. And if you decide to sign up with us, then you'll get our basically $600 package for $99.
Wow,
because I
dude.
feel like
That's
there's
sweet.
a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there that need help, and I feel like, obviously we win with a little bit of revenue, but at the same time, I think that when you have the customer engagement piece of your business and you're serious about growth, VIA can definitely be a vessel to help you get there and engage with your customers in the right way.
Wow. So so we're gonna put that offer across our platform for in our group and in our page, on our Pest Geek podcast page, so that people can communicate with you on that. How is the best way to people to if they want to take advantage of this deal and they want to go with you to reach out to you?
The easiest way would just to have them send an email to me. It's Greg, Greg, at VIA Customers, V as in Victor, IA Customers.com.
Okay.
And if they email me and just say, hey, Greg, I heard you on the podcast, what I'll do is I'll probably just forward them to one of my account executives.
Okay.
And they will probably call them, reach out to them, do a demo with them, show them the software, show them the product. And then if they sign up with them, obviously, we could circle back in a year from now on another podcast, and I could say, hey, look, we're able to do with some of these people that came from your podcast and with our product. And so,
excellent.
But in all reality, it's basically you're getting a $699 a month package for $99 a month. It's a 12-month package that has SEO. You get your VoIP, you get your SMS, you get, kind of all things tied to it. And all you have to do is just email me. And
that's amazing, dude. Because because I'll tell you what, if we would have told hey, this is great, but most people would not respond to it because they're like, oh, okay, I don't, I got to take a $600 presentation. This, you totally remove the barrier to entry because now they know what they're getting. Now they know it's a 1-year deal. It's $99, and they're gonna call because they want it. So sweet deal, man. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, we do a lot as far as like your business because it's like you have a couple of stages, right? And so I hope that, people contact us. We'd love to work with everybody, but it's been really good being on your podcast. And
thank you.
And I just appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
No, I thank you for being on. I really do appreciate this. I'm trying to figure out if I have anybody listening to this podcast, so you'll know if you get the numbers coming in. I'm always wondering how many people are actually listening to me and paying any attention to what I have to say. But no, it's really cool, and I really do appreciate it and appreciate the time. And definitely send me a picture of you because I'm going to put it up on the video. And we're going to be putting it on YouTube and just any platform that we're trying to be on. And then that way I'll put it on the blog post also. So just shoot me an email of which cover photo you want me to use for you, and we'll get it out there.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. I'll have to work with Felipe, and I'll get that sent to you. Thank you so much, man.
Man, I appreciate it. Thanks, Greg. Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Pest Geek Podcast. If you have enjoyed the Pest Geek Podcast, please give us a rating, write a review, or subscribe to the channel. You can join the Pest Geek Society by visiting pestgeekpodcast.com. Thank you for listening. See you next time.